Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. We're diving into a comedic podcast script called Hacks Gone Wild.
Okay.
And it is a set of life hacks that are just,
I love it.
so out there and so funny that we had to explore them and see, how many are really genuinely useful and how many are just for laughs.
It's like they've taken that idea of, finding clever uses for everyday things and just cranked it up to 11.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
So for the very first one, they are proposing that you use toothpaste to fix a scratched CD or DVD.
Oh, yeah. I remember this one.
Did you ever try this?
I did try this back in the day when CDs were actually a thing.
Okay.
Some toothpaste, they have those mild abrasives in them for polishing.
Mm.
So I guess the thinking is you could buff out a minor scratch. But, the risk of actually damaging the disc further is pretty high.
Yeah, you could scratch it even worse.
Exactly. It's a delicate operation.
Much better to leave it to the professionals or just buy a new one if you can. Right.
And speaking of things that are probably best left to the professionals, they also recommend shining your shoes with a banana peel.
Okay, this one's interesting because it's not entirely without merit.
Really?
Yeah, banana peels, they contain potassium,
Okay.
which can help break down dirt. And they also have natural oils that could potentially add some shine.
I've never heard of this one.
But let's be real. You're probably better off just using actual shoe polish.
Yeah, I would imagine that the banana scent might not be ideal.
Yeah, not exactly the professional image you're probably going for. The script even jokes about potential lawsuits over smoothie-scented footwear.
They definitely have a sense of humor about the whole thing.
It's like they know when they're crossing the line into the absurd.
Exactly, which I think is part of the appeal.
For sure. So it's all fun and games until somebody gets a banana peel-induced slip and fall, right?
Right, exactly. Safety first.
Okay, so moving on to something completely different. They have this hack that is straight out of a middle school science fair.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
The potato battery.
The classic.
They're proposing using one to power your phone.
Ambitious.
I can still remember the smell of vinegar and potatoes from my science fair days.
Yeah, those are the days.
Yeah.
But could a potato battery actually power something as complex as a smartphone?
That's a good question.
Well, you're essentially creating a simple galvanic cell.
Right.
You insert two different metals like zinc and copper into the potato. And the potato's electrolytes allow ions to flow between them, which generates a small electrical current.
Okay.
It's a great way to learn about basic electrochemistry.
Right.
But you would need a ridiculous amount of potatoes to power your phone.
Like a whole grocery bag full.
Pretty much. And even then, it would be super unstable.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very practical.
Not really. It's more about the novelty and the scientific curiosity.
I can just imagine trying to explain that at airport security.
Oh, sir, this isn't a bomb. It's just my potato-powered charger.
Right, exactly.
It's a funny image for sure, but it does highlight the limitations of those simple electrochemical systems. They're great for learning. Yeah. But they're just not powerful or reliable enough to replace our modern power sources.
Makes sense. It seems like a lot of these hacks are more for entertainment value than actually being useful.
Yeah, they're definitely playing with that line between, ingenuity and just pure absurdity.
Which makes their next hack even more surprising because it's actually pretty practical and elegant. They recommend using frozen grapes to chill your wine.
Oh, this is a good one.
I know, right?
Frozen grapes are perfect for chilling wine because they don't dilute it as they melt.
That's true.
So you get to enjoy your wine at the perfect temperature without sacrificing any flavor.
It's so simple, but I've never thought of it before.
Right.
Why bother with ice cubes when you can have these little frozen flavor bursts?
Exactly. Plus, it looks way more sophisticated.
Definitely a step up from the potato phone charger.
Haha, for sure.
But I'm guessing there might be some downsides too, right?
Well, one potential drawback is the choking hazard.
Oh, yeah.
As the grapes thaw, they can get pretty slippery. So, just be mindful while you're sipping, especially if you've had a glass or two.
That's a good point. The script actually jokes about somebody choking on a grape during a toast.
Not exactly the best way to end an evening.
Definitely not.
But yeah, overall, I'd say this is one of the few hacks from their script that strikes a good balance between practical, safe, and even a little bit elegant.
It just goes to show that not all life hacks are created equal.
Some are just silly.
Yeah.
Some are dangerous.
Right.
And then some are actually pretty clever.
And, even the more outlandish ones can still make us think differently.
Absolutely. They spark our curiosity and make us question assumptions.
Like, even if I never actually try shining my shoes with the banana peel, The idea itself is kind of interesting.
Exactly. It's all about that what-if moment.
And who knows, maybe that what if will lead to a genuinely innovative idea someday.
You never know.
So as we start to wrap up this deep dive into hacks gone wild, what would you say is the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the main thing is to approach these hacks with a healthy dose of skepticism, but also a sense of humor.
Okay.
Don't take them too seriously. Have fun with it.
Right.
But also pay attention to the underlying principles. You might learn something new, or at least have a good laugh along the way.
And maybe even be inspired to come up with your own creative solutions to everyday problems.
Exactly. Because you never know what brilliant or absurd hack might be lurking just around the corner.
We've gone through quite the range of life hacks today, huh?
We really have.
Yeah.
From toothpaste on CDs to banana peel shoe shine.
It's amazing to me that even the really outlandish ones still have some basis in science.
Yeah, there's often that little kernel of truth in there somewhere.
Like the potato battery? I mean, who would have thought you could actually get electricity from a potato?
It's those little unexpected connections that make these hacks so fascinating.
But then, of course, just because something is scientifically possible doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Right, practicality is a whole other issue.
Like, yeah, shining your shoes with a banana peel might technically work, but is it worth the weird smell?
Sometimes the old-fashioned methods are just better.
For sure. And then you have those rare gems like the frozen grapes for wine.
Ah, yes, that's a good one.
It's practical, elegant, and it just works.
It's a reminder that there are some genuinely useful hacks out there.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into hacks gone wild, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay, I like it.
What's the most creative or maybe ridiculous life hack that you'd ever come across?
Have you ever tried something that seemed crazy but actually worked?
Or maybe you have a go-to hack that you swear by, something that makes your life a little bit easier.
We'd love to hear your stories. Share them with us. And who knows, maybe your life hack will inspire a future deep dive.
That's right. So keep experimenting, keep exploring, and keep those life hacks coming.
Whether they're genius or just plain wacky, there's always something to be learned from unconventional solutions.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Until next time, stay curious.